it's Christmas time, isn't it? Oh. It's close enough at least. I was gonna wear a kind of Santa outfit for this bit right here, but I can't find my Santa hat, so I found a sweater, and instead of a Santa hat, I found this. This looks pretty good though. I think this will do. Like that. Except now my face is in the shadow of this snout here. Hold on. There we are. So it's Christmas time, and I think I know what all of you guys out there want for Christmas already. You, of course, want the FTO to be part of the WCA. It seems like this is what everybody wants this year, but because I feel like making everybody angry and disgruntled for the holidays, we're not going to talk about this or the many other Speedcube. There it goes. We're not talking about that one or the many other Speedcube FTOs that have come out in the past couple months or so. Instead, we're going to be talking about a Speedcube 9x9 because that's what we really need, isn't it? Not the FTO, but instead 9x9 for WCA. All right. There we go. We have another filthy bag of treasures for us here. Actually just one treasure, actually, I think. And it's a fun one. So supposedly there is a 9x9 in here, some way or another. If we compare, let's see, I have a 9x9 already. Compare my Shengshao 9x9. This is not the most ergonomic setup here, but it's gonna work. If we do a scientific measure here, let's gauge the thickness really quick. Save that. Bring in the other 9x9. Yes, there's definitely a discrepancy. So let's throw this away for a minute, come back to it later, turn this back over so I don't dox myself, and there we go. So I didn't even know this thing existed until like a couple weeks ago when I saw a short little video about it. I did not know there was a demand for something like this, and I don't think there is. I think this company just made it. I think it's QiYi. It's a QiYi 9x9. It's QiYi, right? QiYi. So this is the brand new QiYi magnetic 9x9 with a ball core inside of it. It is definitely not a cheaper 9x9. This is only for the serious speed solvers of 9x9, which I think there's probably like at least 2 people out there doing that. Again, I do not know what the big demand for something like this was, but I mean, they made it. It looks cool. I bought it and they got my money because I'm a sucker. It looks like we get another slow, dramatic opening here. Come on. And here we are. There it is. And yeah, that is pretty tiny. Holy smokes. Take that out. We got a mystery box here. What could possibly be in here? Probably just stuff to set it up. You got a bag, per usual. And then some trinkets. No, nothing to set it up, just a cloth and some instructions if you need them. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this one is for me. This just has some hieroglyphics on here. I'm talking about the images, not the Mandarin. It also has Mandarin on here. I do not understand any of this, so if you do, let me know. I assume it's probably not important anyways, though. Let's actually get to the real thing here. Okay, so fully unboxed is the QiYi magnetic 9x9 with a Ball-Corem mechanism. It's definitely a little lubey. Look at that, it's like a full oil slick on the outside of this puzzle. I'm gonna wipe this off. Hold on. That's a little better. So this new QiYi 9x9 here, I guess, is supposed to be like a genuine Speedcube 9x9. Let's actually, for real, compare this to my Shengshao. It's a little smaller. I believe it's only 68 millimeters, which I believe is the same size as my YJ MGC 7x7, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, look at that. And this 7x7 is already kind of on the smaller side of 7x7s. So the 9x9, I mean, it feels perfectly Speedcube size, and hopefully that really helps with finger tricking. I mean, Shengshao, I mean, this is not really the flagship 9x9, even discounting this new one, but it's all I have as a comparison. So, well, you know, you can kind of finger trick this thing, but algorithms are you're a little prone to getting lost in your algorithms because it's just so big. Sometimes finger tricking doesn't quite work, and it's a little poppy here and there. So I'm hoping this is way faster, a little bit less poppy. Hopefully it's a genuine Speedcube. I wonder how this compares to my good old magnetic 11x11 here in terms of the pieces. Are they the same size? I think the inner cubies are the exact same size, it looks like. And the magnetic 11x11 was a pretty swell puzzle. So let's try this thing out finally. Stop yapping and get to it. It feels like a Speedcube in the hands. Does it actually turn like one? Okay, the outer layers are promising so far. It definitely feels dry, but we know from taking the thing out of the package that it is definitely lubed up, so I think it just needs worked around a bit. The outer layers all feel good. Let's give it a checkerboard here, see how the inner layers are. Feeling pretty good all the way through. Some corner cutting action. Can go about 3 pieces. A little less than 3, 2.5. There we go. Reverse. Nothing groundbreaking. 7x7 has quite a bit more room in this intersection of pieces up here in the corner. So the reverse corner cutting, while not immaculate, it's going to be a little better than what we got with the 9x9 here. And of course this is magnetic. I wonder if they have different strength magnets throughout. Let's see what's going on in here. Okay, yeah, so we have apparently different magnets throughout the different layers. See, we got purple and blue and green and yellow, all the way different colors through the cube. So usually different colored magnets mean different strengths. Outside layer, it's not too strong. Inside layer, maybe a little stronger. Maybe a little stronger yet, it feels like. Yeah. So we're gradually increasing strength as we get towards the center layer. The 11x11 does pretty much the same thing with the different colored magnets. And these magnets inside these cubes are really supposed to help with the stability of the puzzle. When you have these higher order cubes that don't have magnets in them, when you're trying to like specially speed solve the thing, you get a bunch of layers that are just a little bit misaligned, then you go to turn it, and then it doesn't want to turn. You can get lockups, you can get pops, you can get all sorts of nasty stuff. So the magnets are supposed to help lock the layers in place, snap them in place, so you don't have such bad misalignment problems. So let's actually get this thing scrambled up and see how it looks. Can already feel some of the lube working outside of the puzzle again. I gotta wipe it off. Okay, so now we're all scrambled, just done with a kind of quick introduction here. I'm gonna go off to the solving cam now, and we're going to actually attempt to speed solve this thing. I never speed solve 9x9. I think my best time's like over half an hour or something. We're gonna go off to the solving cam anyways, and you know, maybe this thing can spark some inspiration in me, some of you folks out there, to start speed solving 9x9, get serious with this thing. Who knows, maybe this could make it to competition at some point. In fact, we should lobby for that. You know, there's a hashtag going around, what is it, FTO4WCA. I say we rally against the FTO folk with something catchy, like we're gonna say hashtag no to FTO, and wouldn't it be sublime to instead have 9x9? That works. Yes. That's the one. Off to the solving cam. Alright, now here we are watching my very first solve of the QiYi 9x9, in parentheses magnetic plus ball core. So as we already said, the size, I mean, it's tiny. 68mm is super small for a 9x9, but it works here. The individual pieces are super small, which is going to be a bit to get used to. What often happens is you go to turn just like maybe 1 or 2 layers and you accidentally grab like 3 or 4. I've done about 10 solves with this thing and I've pretty much gotten used to, you know, not grabbing more layers than I want to. You'd get used to it after a while. So there's some getting used to, but the size is perfect pretty much, and so is the turning. Turning is absolutely fantastic. I think I could actually classify this thing as a genuine Speedcube, no doubt about it. I can compare the turning of the 9x9 here to my MGC 7x7, which in itself is a fantastic cube, but this one is 2 orders higher, so you would expect the turning to be a bit worse, but I mean, it's perfect. Well, close to perfect at least. Turning, it feels a bit more blocky than the 7x7 because, as we noted, it doesn't have those large spaces for better corner cutting, so corner cutting's lacking, but for a 9x9, it's pretty dang good. And the lube that they put in this out of the factory definitely helps that. I haven't added any lube. I feel like what they've added already is plenty after being worked in. It's not too fast, not too slow, and tensioning out of the box was also pretty much perfect. Now, if you do buy this cube and you do want to tension it to your super specific specifications, there's just a Phillips head screw underneath each center cap. The cube doesn't come with a screwdriver, so you're gonna have to supply your own here. But I think what we all really care about with this puzzle, what about all those magnets in there? How are those magnets doing? Well, they're doing some fantastic work. These magnets are a little on the more medium to stronger side, which I really like. One gripe I had with my magnetic 11x11 was the fact that the magnets seemed too weak, so it didn't snap the layers into place as tough as I'd like them to. With this 9x9, those magnets feel perfect. They snap those layers into place. They shouldn't be going anywhere when you don't want them to. One of the big advantages of this, of course, is it helps eliminate lockups. And in my 10 solves here, I've only had like 3 big lockups that impacted my solve times. So 3 bad lockups and thousands of turns here. That's a pretty good ratio. Now do keep in mind the puzzle is harder to lock up and it's pretty hard to pop. But this also means that when it does pop, putting pieces back in is extremely tricky. But this should not be a frequent problem, and especially when you get better at turning the thing, getting used to the small, thin layers, your turning is going to get more and more precise. So along with the magnets, this cube also has a ball core mechanism inside of it. What that does, well, supposedly the ball core has something to do with helping stability in some way or another. I don't even know how that works. Maybe someone out there could tell me. But however it works, it seems to work, and it's doing work, and the puzzles staying together throughout this whole solve here as we wrap it up with a blistering time of 13 minutes 27 seconds. Now I also did a back-to-back comparison solve here with my Changsha 9x9, which yielded a time of 19 minutes, so a little bit slower. It's a 5.5 minute difference for anybody willing to do the math out there. You can see just how much more unwieldy this Changsha is. I'm doing lots of wrist turns, and I'm even tabling the cube a bunch here. Tabling's when you set the cube down, push on it to align all the layers together, because of course it has no magnet, so if you don't have your layers perfectly aligned, they're gonna lock up, when you try to turn. So when you shrink the cube down, when you add magnets, and your turning's just overall better, you cut out all of this tabling, you can completely finger trick everything. It's just more easy to control in the hands, and you cut a lot of time out of your solves. I think right now I'm averaging like 12-ish minutes on the QiYi 9x9, so that's pretty, I was gonna say that's pretty good, but I have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you can let me know if that's pretty good. What do you average on 9x9? How many people have a documented 9x9 average? Is this video useful at all? Maybe. Who knows? So there we are there. I hope everybody enjoyed this sort of... there's things falling in the background. You're gonna hear something. It's done. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If it's not too late by the time this comes out, it probably will be too late. But if it's not too late, maybe you can get you or your loved ones, or beg your loved ones for the magnetic 9x9 here. If you need it, it's cool. That is, if you're in the right tax bracket for it. After buying it, I am no longer. So yeah, that's it. I see a few more presents under the tree though. Why don't we take a quick look at one of these? Hold on. All right. Oh, let's crack this bad boy open here. The clearly impossible jigsaw puzzle. Oh, it's Christmas time, isn't it? Whoop.